I'm Wendy Capewell and the host of this podcast, which is all about relationships, the one with ourselves and the one with others. My guests and I will be sharing our experience and our views over the coming weeks. So, on with the show. So, hello today, everyone, and I have with me today Fidel Beauhill. He is the Modern Man Coach. So I'm going to pass over to Fidel so he can introduce himself to you all. Hi, Fidel. Nice to see you here.
Hi, Wendy. Thank you very much for having me on your show. My name's Fidel Beauhill, the Modern Man Coach. I'm a master NLP coach and a master hypnotherapist, timeline practitioner, personal trainer, and mainly I work with men who have been through divorces, breakups, or some sort of midlife crisis. That's what I do on my sort of one-to-one work. On a bigger level as a speaker, my main topics are talking about sort of masculine, feminine energy and how men and women communicate in relationships in the dating sphere. Or miscommunicate, or don't communicate, or fail totally, which seems to be happening a lot these days. I think just at the moment, we're just in a very strange time where we haven't quite figured out a way of men and women being different and appreciative of those differences and working with those together. I mean, we can't go backwards, back to the 50s where those clear roles and everything was very easily defined. Nobody wants to go back there, but what we do have to do is find a new way forward where we can appreciate our differences and bring those back in, but learn how to do that in a new modern way. That's the plan.
Yeah, and I think we've had a chat before, haven't we, about how men are finding it so much harder because of in today's society, because 30, 40 years ago, they really, well, maybe even longer. I mean, since the Second World War, which is a long time ago, I know, but I think things changed then because women were working, whereas up until that point, married women were generally staying at home. They weren't working. So there's been a change over the decades, hasn't there, of men's roles.
All the things that were important and were connected to being a man or being a masculine, everybody can do them now. So it was down to us to like that whole role of bringing in the money and running the business and being the ones that were out there. That's changed. Everybody's doing it. And to be fair, I think women are finding it just as difficult. Certainly our generation of women, the ones I'm speaking to now, have hit their late 30s, 40s, who are like really finding that balance of feeling like they've lost connection with their femininity, don't think that it's a positive word or feeling at all, but they know that they're missing something. What is it, being a mother, that caring, nurturing role, whilst also being out and working and earning money, and it's like it doesn't seem to be working for anybody. And like I said, we don't need to go backwards into those traditional roles. That's not the answer, and that's not what I'm saying. But we do need to find a new way forward, for sure.
Oh, definitely. And I would agree. I actually hear women saying, well, what do I need a man for? I can manage on my own.
Yeah.
I think that's all very well, but I understand that side of it. Yes, we can do it all on our own, but if you're in a relationship, that really kind of demasculates the partner, the man. I mean, what place does he have? So how can he feel that he plays a part? And in fact, if the woman's feeling like that, then she's not honouring her partner either. She's missing a lot.
The "we don't need no man" chant, I think, is that encapsulates everything at the moment. And there's a big discussion. It's a conversation I have a lot with women who are like, well, we don't need a man. And what I've found is actually there's a growing group of women who have worked on themselves and have come out the other end of that and are like, actually, there's nothing wrong with needing a man in my life. And actually, it's quite empowering to admit that. And they're the start of what I'm talking about. They're the beginning of this new approach, really, where understanding that the power in femininity is about receiving and that being okay. And that's really actually where the power to all of this lies. I mean, I talk about the tango dance, where you've got really that clear balance of masculine and feminine. And when you watch two dancers doing it, it's a beautiful thing to behold.
Yeah.
The masculine clearly leads that dance, but he can only do so if the feminine allows it to happen. So that's where the power actually is. And the feminine can easily mess that dance up and be sort of tight and resistant, and fight for dominance and stuff. The role that the masculine has to play, though, is to be trustworthy and to be skillful and to be caring and considerate, because the feminine's never going to actually trust you to lead her if she thinks you're going to tread on her toes or drop her. Okay, yeah. So we all have a part to play. It's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. Who goes first? We can only really be responsible for ourselves, can't we?
Yes, and I think that's the other thing I hear if I'm working with couples, that there's always a case of, well, I'm waiting. Well, he should go first. You do it. You're not playing your part, so I'm not playing my part. And it is that resistance of, well, I'm not going to do it if you're not going to do it, and that comes into another battle, which is crazy.
Well, yeah, one of the misconceptions, I think, is I talk about the masculine sort of in a leadership role, and one of the things we have confused, and I totally understand why, is that leadership is about power and dominance. Okay, and that's kind of, I understand that we live in a kind of patriarchal society. We do, and there's a reason for that. It's coming from the Industrial Revolution, where it was all about men building businesses, and it was about inheritance and making sure that money was passed down to a man's family. But actually, true leadership is about consideration, and it's about service. Okay, which is what masculine really is about. The reason why we feel driven to be protective, the reason why we want to pull out the chair for you and open the door for you, that's service. It's not about power and dominance. That's about service, and that's about laying ourselves out and being out front and taking the risk and protection. That's what real leadership is about. If you look at a leader in a business or any kind of organization or a country, what's a good leader is somebody that's doing it from a selfless perspective. They're not interested in the money. They're not interested in the power. They're doing it because it's something that they believe in, and they're prepared to sacrifice themselves for the great good. And that's what leadership is. And that's what true positive masculinity is. When we start to understand that, then we stop fearing it. Then we stop worrying about it, and the feminine will stop fighting it, because there's a reason for fighting it: fear of being dominated and overpowered, and all of those sort of negative connotations. And that's not what it should be about.
Yeah, and I think both genders have had actually led us to this situation. We can't. Yes, we had a very, very patriarchal society, and some countries still do.
Yeah.
And okay, we I suppose it is, how do we move forward? Because at the moment, we have women who are fighting against the men instead of trying to work with them. But I think there is that whole thing about, we've had those leaders in business or in countries where they have been just about power. So that's led us to feel in a very vulnerable place, all of us, I think. And
all of us,
Yeah. And so when you think about leadership, I agree, leading from the front, leading by example. But we don't see enough of that.
No,
that's where it falls down, doesn't it? Because then we feel, well, you can't trust a leader. A leader is often a man, and then we get a woman who is a leader. For example, the Prime Minister of New Zealand. She has got that very nurturing side to her. I don't think you've ever
she's amazing. I think she's amazing.
She is amazing, but she's got the nurturing side, which and I think people are drawn to that because we're seeing the masculine side of power, where it is power rather than leadership.
and in some ways, our current, what's going on in the world currently, and obviously we're talking about this from a very strange period in global history, where we're all sort of shut in our houses, and I think part of the problem is capitalism. When everything is about money and it's about production and producing stuff, we're seeing the damage that this is doing to our planet, that it's doing to us as human beings, as sentient beings. Look at me getting all spiritual. But we're losing a lot of connection, and we're actually losing touch with the feminine, and in a way we need to bring that back. And we all need to start considering that a bit more. Whilst everything is just all about money, that just feeds directly into that negative masculinity, that the bullying, the domineering, the winning at all costs, that competitive element, and stuff like that. And that all of that stuff gets rewarded. It gets rewarded with money, and that is what's seen as where the value is these days. But I think we're slowly moving away from that, and we're all starting to realize that actually there's more to us than that, and other things are actually more important nowadays.
Yeah. Now, I know you run the Modern Man's Club, and I'm just because one of the things it's getting better now, but one of the things I find is that men feel very shamed about asking for help.
Yes.
And I've seen an increase in men coming, to work with me. Yep. But I wonder what it's like with your Modern Man's Club. How's that growing? Is that increasing? Are you finding
it is
people?
Yes, it is. We are. It's growing. It's growing. It grows daily. We have new members all the time. It's a great positive place. One of the most positive places I know. It's a Facebook community, so it's one of the most positive communities that I'm in Facebook, where people really actually talk to each other with a bit of respect. And don't get me wrong, we have the odd fallout, but I've only ever removed one person from the group in 2 years. I've only ever deleted, I think, 3 posts in that time as well, which I'm really, really proud of. So it's an interesting place. Men reaching out for help, though, any more than that. So we've got guys who share a lot of really personal things in there, and it's a great support network. Men are still kind of stuck in this want to fix it for themselves mode, though. I notice the difference and I don't know whether you do as well, where if a woman contacts me to work with me, it's normally like, "Hi, Fidel, I love what you're putting out. I love the work you do. Yeah, I'm looking for somebody to help me with this problem. How does it work? How much does it cost? Blah, blah, blah." And it's very quick and smooth. The guys on average probably take me 2 or 3 months before it actually starts working. So they'll reach out, "Hi, Fidel," and they'll ask me how I am. First of all, and sort of touch base, and then they'll ask me if there's a book they can read or a YouTube video they can follow, or if there's some resources that they can go off and try and do by themselves first of all. And then I realize that only takes them so far, and then they'll get back in touch and ask me how I am again. It's really interesting little dance.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think they reach out to women in a different way, because getting a man to help another man is a different dynamic.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I think there's not that amount of shame, is there, on their part. That's how they feel. And
it's a competitive thing, isn't it? It's like, does this mean you're better than me, or whatever? And are we gonna have this relationship of dominant and sub between us, which is almost what it feels like. And it's not like that between a man and a woman. They feel less like that. But yeah, I mean, that's not what it's like working with a coach, as you know, or a therapist.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I was pondering about how it works for me, and I guess men generally, if they've decided they want some help, then they may have that phone call, and they might that tentative, and then it might be, "Well, I'm okay," or they might have 1 or 2 sessions because they feel, "Yeah, I'm fixed, I'm all right."
Yeah.
When I'm working with couples, it's usually the woman that makes the contact, and the first thing she'll say is, he never talks. You won't get him to talk. And it's so incredible, because what happens is that they talk to me.
Yeah.
And the wife or partner is saying, well, how do you get him to talk? And I think sometimes men just don't feel safe to talk with a partner because they judge, shut down, or whatever.
Yeah. So there's a few. I've got a few thoughts on this. I'm not sure that. I've seen women say, "Why doesn't he talk to me? He should tell me everything." I've also seen what happens when men really open up and pour all of their problems and thoughts and fears and everything else like that onto their partner. The attraction gets lost immediately, because actually the feminine wants to test and see that the masculine is strong and is going to be there to protect and support her. And actually, if she suddenly, I think women like the idea of a man opening up and bearing his soul, but the reality is at an unconscious level, a certain amount of attraction gets lost there. So actually, I think part of setting up men's groups and men's support networks and friendships, and really, I think one of the best things women can do for their male partners is encouraging them to have their male friendships and opening up over there. I think that's far better for a relationship than actually for guys to open up and bare their souls to their female partners. Secondly, lots of guys just don't want to talk, and that's okay. But that's actually one of the things, and a lot of research has shown, is that men and women solve problems in very different ways. Yeah. So women brainstorm and they do it externally and they do it verbally. So a group of women will sit around the table and they'll go blah, 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 and they'll let everything out. They'll brainstorm the nonsense as well as the sensible stuff. It'll all come out, and then they'll put it back together again like a puzzle and come up with the solution. Okay, if they even want a solution. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the solution is just to communicate it all.
Yeah.
The masculine brain just doesn't work like that. It's like it's internal. So we'll solve a problem internally, and then we'll speak and open up once we've come to a decision. Okay. And we'll say, well, here's a solution. Very solution focused. Again, not all men and women are like this. There are differences, but we're speaking in generalizations here. And so what men really need, so what women are looking for is like their man to be more feminine, and they're not really. They don't really want that. But women's way of connecting with each other is verbally and opening up and talking. Whereas guys just don't feel the need to do that, don't want to do it, it's not. So actually what men need is like alone time and time with their male friends. Actually, if your guy doesn't want to talk, keep nagging him and going, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you talk to me? Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, is just like, you're just going to drive him deeper into his cave, because actually.
Absolutely. And I think that's what happens. It is that case, well, he doesn't talk to me, but actually it is about honouring how we process things in the world. And if a woman, as you say, she will want to go, blah, 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 spew it all out. And the guy feels, well, wow, what do I do with that? So again, generalization, but they're likely to go back into their man cave.
Yep.
And then the woman feels, well, he's rejecting me. He won't have anything to do with it. He won't talk. She goes, blah, 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 again. And he retreats even further into his cave. And then she's complaining because he won't talk. So it is that understanding of how each person processes things and respecting that.
Yeah, absolutely. And respecting that. And that's the thing. That's where we've got it wrong with our generation. We're looking too much for men and women to be the same. Like, and because we've got this link between equality and similarity. And that's not true. We can be equals, but we also need to bring back that appreciation and understanding of our differences, and allowing it and supporting it and beholding it. Like, I mean, part of my journey has been stepping way more into my masculine on a conscious level. And I was divorced a couple of years ago, and so I went out dating and stuff like that again, and I'm just noticing how, when I'm in my real powerful conscious masculine energy, how women can't help but step into their femininity when they're in the presence of that. And you watch them open up and become this beautiful feminine kind of being that they've never been before, you know, and that they've never had the opportunity before, they never felt safe enough to do before. And it's beautiful to watch. And likewise, then that feeds my masculine energy and makes me step forward. It makes me puff out my chest, makes my shoulders go back, you know, and the whole thing just, it's just such a natural, wonderful thing to be a part of and to see. And I'm in a new relationship now, and we've definitely got that, and we've got that on a conscious and unconscious level, and it's exciting, and it's it's really cool. And that's what I want to bring to the world a little bit more, I think.
I think this is it. It is that understanding and the respect, rather than forcing somebody to do, well, this is how you should be, this is how I want you, this is what, because that isn't why we got together with somebody in the first place.
And especially trying to make someone the same as us, because that's not where attraction is it? Attraction is in polarity, and that difference is, and actually that's how we work as a team. Two different people who do things differently is a much better team than two people who do stuff in exactly the same way. As long as the goals and the end point are the same, actually teamwork is about having, you know, you need a striker and a goalkeeper, don't you? He said in his masculine, talking with his football metaphors.
Exactly.
But
I think that's really interesting. We've had some really we've covered some interesting subjects, I think, here.
We did. We went deep.
We did, and I hope that it's useful, that the listeners find this useful and it's thought provoking, because I think that's what it's about, isn't it? Making people stop and think, and getting them to really consider where they're at and what it's about. Because I think it is so many disputes and arguments come about simply because people are, men and women women, I can speak from a woman's point of view, this is what I want and this is how you should be, instead of, well, how can we work in synergy? I think there's a lot of that. So
and men at the moment, I just don't want to engage, because we don't have the answer to it. And if really a lot of men's drivers is just to make a woman happy, when we realise we've got a lot of realisation that that's not really our job and we can't actually do it. That's up to them. But and as soon as we think we can't do that, we just withdraw and shut down. And actually, we're just like, forget you guys. We don't want to engage anymore. And that's happening on a bigger and bigger scale, which is also worrying.
It is, isn't it? And I think that there was something about, well, you don't. I remember my mum saying, but you never say anything. When I talk, you don't say anything. And he said, well, I don't have an answer. And I said, well, it's okay to say, I don't know. And it's okay for you as his wife to accept that, but that sometimes is enough, isn't it? I don't know the answer. We don't have to know all the answers. And sometimes women don't want an answer, they just want to be listened to.
They just want to be heard.
And I think there's nothing worse. I get it from women as well. Oh, well, this is a solution. This is a solution. I wasn't looking for a solution, actually. I don't say it, but they want to fix me as well. Like, I don't want to be fixed. I'm all right. I'll ask for help if I need it. But
I mean, that's the bit. I'll ask for help if I need it. So one of the stuff when I work with my guys, it's about, when she says that she wants to talk or she starts speaking, you ask. The question is, do you want me to? Are you looking for me to give you an answer? Do you want me to get my toolkit out, or are you just looking for somebody to listen to you? What do you want out of this conversation? And women need to go, well, actually, this is something I want an answer to, please. Like, I'm coming to you for help. Or actually, I just want to let off some steam and kind of thing. And then we know what to do. If we start those conversations with that and with an understanding about where we're going, people would be a lot happier, wouldn't they?
Would they just? Yes, I think it is. What do you need right now? What is it you need right now? Because the classic, and I did it myself when I was younger. You're having an argument. My partner would come across to me, he'd go and put his arm around me, give me a hug, and I shrug him off, get off. So what does he do? The next time there's an argument, he doesn't give me a hug. And I said, that's it, you just don't care. So the poor guy It's absolutely what the
That's a
hell do
classic,
you
isn't it?
do?
Yeah.
Do you want to hug? You know, and I think it is giving us what we need and asking for what we need. I think you know, from a woman's point of view, I need to say, this is what I need right now.
Yeah.
I need to be, I want to be able to talk. I don't need you to solve it. I need a hug right now, because nobody can read our minds, and that's the problem. He should know. Well, I'm sorry.
Well,
I don't want someone to read my mind anyway.
and one of the other big differences, I mean, and I've been through this like last week. So with my partner again, I've watched her. What we went through last week and the beginning of this week with this with the virus and the shutting down, and we're both self-employed, fear of with what's going on with work, and speaking opportunities all just disappearing, and gatherings and all our workshops having to be cancelled and stuff.
Mm.
She's got 2 small children, so like one of the main differences between the masculine and feminine again is that the feminine is kind of up and down. It's flow, it's movement, it's change, it's different. She doesn't like me using the word, but I think chaotic is a really good word. Unpredictable, that's what she said is a better word. The unpredictability. So it changes on the face of it. Like you said, you being upset, man thinks hug. You say not hug, then next time you're upset we go, okay, not hug. Whereas actually those are 2 different kinds of upset. Whereas the masculine is a lot more is about consistency, right? It's about solidity, it's about consistency, it's about grounded. We kind of only have kind of 2 different modes. You know, we've got calm, chilled, upset, or angry, like, you know, or upset. So we've got, and generally whenever we're in one of those modes, the same thing will help us. So if I'm upset, just give me a hug. I'm over a hugger when I'm upset, or I'm gonna leave me alone. But every time I'm upset, I'll pretty much want the same thing. And so again, what I teach my guys is all we've got to do is be consistent through that unpredictability. I mean, I watched her go in a day through about 6 or 7 different emotions, and some of that was actually taken out on me. And so rather than me real understanding, not to take it personally, it's just something she's going through and processing. I've just got to be there, be consistent, and keep checking in as to how I can help and what she wants.
Yeah.
But mainly just not to step into those moods. I think a lot of guys, what they try and do is match women, and women go, why aren't you taking this so seriously? You should be taking it seriously. Why aren't you upset? And a lot of guys will apologize then and go, yeah, it is serious. I want to be upset. Yes, it is stressful. And then they'll try and match. And actually, that's not what's required. What we're required to do then is be consistent and go, look, that's how you're dealing with this. I totally understand that. I'm here for you, but I don't feel the same way. And just be honest about it, you know?
Yeah.
Stand strong in your masculine.
Not stepping into someone else's drama.
For sure. Or just not stepping into that energy. It's because, again, we process this stuff differently.
Exactly. Oh, so yeah, really enjoyed talking to you today. It's been some really interesting conversations that come up, and I hope the listeners have enjoyed it. So what is one tip that someone can take away right now?
Ooh, okay. So I would say one of the first things I do when I work with either a man or a woman, but mainly with men in a relationship dynamic, because you don't have to work with both. I think if one person changes their energy and steps into their masculine and feminine, the other one will step into theirs naturally and bring that dynamic. So the key, or the first point of change in that masculine and feminine dynamic is about decisions, making decisions. Okay, so if you're a man, one of the things you need to start practicing is being decisive. Start making the decisions. Really important that it isn't done with an energy that comes from control or power. It's about consideration. But I've found that women love nothing more than when a man starts making decisions. Okay, so start small though. Don't go in and start bossing people about. Just start small. For women, the thing with that is to start allowing and encouraging your man to make those decisions. And if he makes a wrong one or a bad one, not to chastise him, but still to praise him, still to tell him that you appreciate that he did it and it was a great decision and that he couldn't have seen it ending up that way, and you still want him to carry on doing it. Okay, so the real beginning point of this polarity, if you want to bring that back into your relationship, is it centers around decisions. Men should start making them, women should start allowing him to do that.
Great advice. I will put all your details in the show notes on on my podcast page. But one for a listener who hasn't got that facility right now, one simple way that people can get in touch with you.
The best way, I guess, is on Facebook. That's where I am mostly. So my name's Fidel Beauhill, Fidel Beauhill. You find me on Facebook, send me a message or a friend request. That's probably the best way to find me, I'd say.
Brilliant. Thank you so much today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
I have indeed, Wendy. Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed today's show. And if you have, would you do me a favour and leave a review? That would be really helpful. And don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes. You can find all the contact details in the show notes, and you can find all of that, plus information about me, my services, and how to get in contact with me by going to my website, which is wendycapewell.co.uk. So until next time, bye.